Meow. Meow, meow. Meow, meow.
Hey.
Hey, how's it going?
It's going all right. Cool. Let me quickly see where where everyone else is. Okay, what do you mean you didn't see anything in your inboxes?
I didn't get any invites in my inboxes, my email. I got the link you sent me, but the link tells me that I can't find the meeting. So I don't know what was up with that.
Give me a second. Holy shit, dude.
What?
WhatsApp prevents certain messages from being forwarded.
Really?
Yep.
What? Like what? Like what messages?
like I have a message here from a guy who talked about epidemic math, and I can't forward that. However, let me look here if I can. Okay, no wait, I can forward it from the. It's weird. I can forward it from the app. Okay. Okay, well, dude, I don't know. Like, if no one else is here, no one else seems to be replying to the signal messages.
Okay.
Make sure I did invite the one dude specific. Well, that's unfortunate, but all right, we'll just keep pitching it then. Okay, well, stuff I have on the agenda basically is the sales side, which I think we obviously know works, but I think let's just do it anyway. I'll just give an audit update, which is, again, just for discipline's sake. And then if you want to demo smoke signal, and one guy says he can join us, but maybe only later.
Okay.
The dude who does the international trade stuff, and we can demo Die Hard if he shows up. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, okay, everyone. Welcome to the first demo day of Foundry. As you can see, our entire active community is currently online. But yeah, so barring maybe our marketing personnel, but yeah, we'll continue from there on out. So Logan, over to you. I've been tasting this very nice sales site that you've built. I think it works pretty well. Yeah, I'm going to show us.
Sure. Let me get it loaded up here. Well, I guess first I'll start the screen share. All right. So diehard.exchange. Wait, no, that's not what we're doing. That's old news.
That's such
we are
old
going
news.
to, yeah. Oh shit. Well, I guess I need to actually get the sale up and running.
We'll just demo it with what we have so far. With the
yeah, but I mean, I'm gonna have to think about how I actually get that running. Do we have it on running on testnet? See, I don't even remember.
No, we have it on mainnet. Show it on mainnet.
That's right. Okay, so that is sale.foundrydao.com. Test main, I think.
So as you will see, we subscribe to the testing philosophy of testnet, smashnet.
That's right. Testnet is for pussies. That's my catchphrase. All right. So let me get my MetaMask connected. Wallet not connected. Okay, right. So I've got a wallet. Got to connect the wallet here. Every time I stream and type in my password, I wonder if there's somebody who's going to be able to like analyze the acoustics of my password and
the acoustics. Wow, that's actually next level. I've never thought of the fucking acoustics before.
Okay, so let's see. So in bucket number 264 here, 0 die has been sold so far. It also tells me that the die bids are irreversible and that 100,000 Fry has already been dispersed. Let's see here. And now, I guess this isn't quite clear, but verify jurisdiction is a step that we have to take before the wallet can even be connected. Maybe that, would you want to just take notes while I do this demo, actually?
We actually have notes on this stuff. So Alinea has already actually
okay, cool.
picked up on specifically the fact that some of this is confusing. Yeah. So, okay, so just for the audience, for the theoretical audience's sake, we are going to basically make this thing work such that you just get better messages about where you are in the process at the moment. Like, so for instance, wallet not connected at the moment. The first thing you need to do is verify your location. Logan, maybe just describe to us what happened when you clicked on verify location there.
So when I clicked verify location, again, there wasn't much indication, so we should add some of that, but it checked the geolocation, that whole mechanism. What do you call that? Is there a good label for that?
Well,
Well, there's the IP check on one hand, and then there's the geolocation, which is like a separate thing.
So it's browser geolocation and IP geolocation.
Okay, right. And it so it checks those two, and if they agree on the jurisdiction that you're in, then it says that's good enough. And then the only check it does is just, you know, if you're in the U.S., then it'll say sorry, we cannot serve you. And then if you're not, it'll allow you to continue.
Okay.
And then if they don't match up, then it just assumes you're trying to do something funny. So VPNs should not easily get through this unless you're going to go in and, well, I won't speak of such things, but it should be pretty difficult to get into the sale if you are an American.
Yeah. Okay. So just for the audience's sake, we are going to block, unfortunately, the beautiful people of the United States from giving us their money, which is not normally something, we normally find quite repulsive, you know, is to turn down money. But because their government is quite aggressive, you know, and they want to make us hurt, we've decided to rather not allow them into our sale. So that's what our geolocation checking is about.
Yep.
Cool. So how do I put money in this thing?
All right. So wallet not connected, connect to wallet. I'll do that now. And now it looks like I have already clicked the unlock button. So actually, why don't I just change to another account here that has not gone through that?
Okay. Don't you want to just hard refresh the thing maybe, and we'll take it from the top then?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
I will do that as well. Yes. Let's just make sure this guy has die. Yes. No, it does not. Okay, hold on just a second. Let me just go to a different browser that I know has. Oh, this is that different browser. Okay, hold on. Go to a different browser. Well, let me just close this. It's taking up some memory. Okay. Once again, verify jurisdiction. Okay, now you'll see I have to click allow location access here. So we're starting from the top again. I may have clicked that already on the other browser, which is why this didn't pop up. But yeah, we'll have some indicators here to show the user that they must click allow. If you click don't allow, the process will not be able to complete and you won't be able to access the sale. Oh my God. Okay, well, bugs. Let me just see what that says. Oh my God.
So why are we getting a
That's just
cross origin request error?
That's about fonts and stuff, so that shouldn't be anything related to us. Here is what we want to look at. Do a location check with callback. Arguments null, color null, length 1, name nothing. Well, that's odd, isn't it? Let me just refresh the page and see if that works.
Do a hard refresh. Can.
Yep. Okay. Error verifying jurisdiction. It looks like it's this. This is, but I don't know if this has anything useful in it. Yeah. Do a location check with callback. Arguments and caller were both null. I have no idea if that matters. Jeez.
Okay, it's very strange that it's giving you that now. Let's try it on my side. Firefox. So, Well, I can. Okay, I think I'm going to share screen. I think mine might not have the errors that yours have. Okay, are you taking notes of your errors though? Because I don't think we've seen whatever that is on your side.
Yeah, I can just put this in a notepad for now. Deal with it later.
Okay, I'm going to start sharing my screen so long.
Okay.
Okay, so everybody. All right, so here we have our ICO sale. And essentially, if you come to the page, this is the nice little bits of information you're going to see. So this tells us how many buckets have concluded. This tells us how much fry has been disbursed in total since the beginning of the sale. Logan, I think that number is wrong, actually, now that I look at it. Unless that's the amount that we've pulled out. Is that the amount we've pulled out?
Yes, that's the amount that's the amount. No, that's the amount. Let me think here. That people have claimed.
People have claimed.
So, yeah. So it's not necessarily the number of times the amount of buckets that have passed, because many buckets will have passed in this test version without people actually claiming anything there.
Okay, so that's only what has been extracted, right?
Yes.
That makes sense. Okay, let's just. Let me send myself some dye quickly, which will probably cost me $10 right now.
Mm-hmm.
That's nice. Now I have to type in my password online 5 times.
6 times.
Give that a moment. Okay. That's nice. Listen, it seems like I don't have any dye. Would you mind sending me like 0.1 dye, please?
Yeah. Okay, hold on a second. Just WhatsApp me your address.
Yep.
There, I sent you 1 dye because I'm generous.
Because that's how you roll. Because you a pimp. Right.
Yeah, it's actually more just because it's just easier to type 1 than 0.1. You know,
I
can't. Ain't nobody got time to be typing in decimal points.
Yeah, I hear you, man. I hear you. Okay, cool. So that's the amount basically that we've dispersed in the sale so far. The rest is either in past buckets, or in future buckets. Okay. So over here at the top, we have which bucket we have. So since we've launched our mainnet test contract, 264 buckets have passed. 1 bucket comes around every 7 hours, right? You can actually participate in future buckets, or you can just decide, you know what, ain't nobody got time for that. I am going to send some money to my local bucket. But before you do that, you have to verify your jurisdiction. Now, the reason we verify the jurisdictions, just like I said earlier, the Yankees can't give us money. All right, so if we allow access, this is going to check our browser geolocation and our IP, make sure they're in the same country and that country is not blocked. Okay, let's connect here to MetaMask. By the way, we saw a lot that if we click connect, sometimes it gives you a little notice at the top there and nothing further. Okay, so now I gotta unlock DAI, because that's how DAI rolls. All right, so gonna spend 0.11 US cents there, which in South Africa is now about a month's rent. Right, so let me just check this out. Okay, so we've been having some issues with the network in terms of how quickly these things happen. Okay, so we'll just leave it like that for the time being. That might actually not take so long. All right, so basically now, once we've unlocked the die, the next thing that's going to happen is we're going to be able to participate. First. Now, that's one thing about demoing the blockchain is there's really no way to speed past these parts. There is, but it's an expensive way.
Right. Well, when I just sent you some die, I was able to speed it up by not spending that much. Maybe just see what the speed up option is.
Okay, let's have a look. Okay, well, I guess a month and a half's rent ain't that bad. Oh, how are things in sunny Pretoria at the moment? You look like you are cold.
Yeah, it has been cold, man. It's been very cold.
Okay.
I've had to put on 2 pairs of socks at times. It's been dire.
Yeah, you're regretting your decision to go into my unsealed house. Okay, cool. This is confirmed. All right. Okay, so now we have failed to unlock die. That's nice.
No, that was from before, I think. It was because it was there even while this one was mining.
Oh, okay. So it's possible that I had a failed unlock of die. So look. All right. So let's try to give 1 cent to the sale again. Verify my jurisdiction. Allow. Okay, cool. So I can continue now. All right. So once I've unlocked the die, that was successful. If I click continue, and then it'll ask me, I understand that the bid cannot be refunded, and that if other bids are entered in the bucket ends, the amount of fry I will be able to claim from this bucket will decrease. All right. I'm down with that. You know, because I'm an ICO pimp. Confirm. Okay, cool. We're mining bid on bucket 264. All right, so basically the way that our buckets work is our buckets have a set amount of fry, so they've got 50,000 fry on them. Well, each bucket has 50,000 fry. Try saying that 5 times fast in them, and they get distributed equally to the people who actually put money into each bucket. So here I am the only participant at 1 die cent, so I'm going to get all of it. Okay, let's just quickly see how long this is going to take. Okay, hold on. We have a participant. We have a participant. We've actually got someone.
Now we can stop pretending.
We can stop pretending, basically. Yeah. Alrighty-o. Daniel, how are you, my man? Let me unmute you. Welcome, Daniel. Okay. He might have to join with computer. Oh, hey, there you are. How are you doing, man?
Okay, perfect. I'm doing well in yourself.
Oh, we're doing well, thank you. Daniel, this is Logan. Logan is the lead developer on those projects that I was telling you about.
Hello.
Oh, yes. Nice to meet you, Logan. Sorry, but let me just put a cap on quickly, and then I will properly join this the video aspect of the meeting. I had no idea. I thought it was just going to be like I'm going to be watching something.
No, that's fine. You can just watch. It's okay. You really don't have
Okay,
to.
that's perfect. No worries.
Yeah, you don't have to make yourself beautiful for us. We love you just the way you are. Okay.
Perfect.
So
yeah.
Okay, so Daniel, basically, I was just saying that. So this is our ICO interface. This is what people will be using to participate in the sale. So there's a couple of things that you missed. Now I'll try to reload them so that we can just redo 1 or 2 of them. But basically,
actually, if I could pause for a second, I just want to get some context. So Danielle, what is it that about the stuff we're doing that is interesting you most? Because there's 3 different things. There's the sale, then there's Die Hard, and then there's Smoke Signal. So what was it that you are particularly interested in? Did you hear anything, Skulk? I just heard him say
I'm
that
just
I really.
sort of trying to think of some. Just give me a second.
Okay, sorry.
Sorry about that.
Yeah. Yeah. So basically, I just me and Daniel have just been chatting about cryptocurrency
No, it's
in
fine.
general.
Give me 1 second.
Okay.
Okay, perfect. Sorry, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, sorry about that. Sometimes
No worries.
just switches. Okay, yeah. So I'm really a fan of Smoke Signal and Diode, and those are the main sort of two that I spoke to Skulk about. And I'm sort of just I was just interested in hearing about the ICO and seeing how it can sort of be developed, because when I last spoke with Skulk, I think there's a lot of opportunity where we could possibly look at bringing in some investors with this. But I first sort of want to fully understand what's happening. But it's also just like a pure interest in what you guys are doing.
Okay, cool. All right, I'm happy with that. Skulk, continue.
Yeah, so Danielle, basically what we'll be doing going forward is, okay, so every Friday we're going to hold an open demo day that we're going to stream on Utwitface. And yeah, it's a streaming aggregator between YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook called Utwitface. I'm joking. We'll just stream it on YouTube. But okay, so yeah, so we're just showing the stuff that we've built and that actually works, right? So at the moment we're showing the ICO, which is the biggest component that we now, I think, have very close to ready. Yeah, and then you're welcome to ask questions during the thing or something, and then I can explain things to you how everything like fits together.
Perfect.
Okay, cool. So let me start from the top here for your sake. We have so we have this, refresh this. See if it actually refreshes. All right, so we have our ICO interface here, right? And what our ICO interface does, I'm going to quickly log out of this thing as well. Okay, so what our ICO interface does is our sale essentially works in buckets, right? So every 7 hours, we sell some of our Fry token, right? And then you can pull them out of the sale, and you can go trade them or do whatever you want or participate in the governance of our DAO with the Fry tokens, right? So this interface just allows you to navigate through the buckets. So you can only really start from the current bucket, which is currently bucket 264. And then you can make a bid on buying Fry in any of the buckets, right? So let's say for now I'm going to buy some Fry with 1 DAI cent. And to do that, I need to verify my jurisdiction, and what this is for is to make sure that the Americans don't participate, so that their government leaves us alone. So we'll just say their allow location. All right. So what that did is that checked two different sources of location. Made sure that they're in the same country so that the person can't use a VPN to work around it. And if that country is not in our blacklist, then effectively you get to participate. So now we can connect our wallet. So we have this thing called MetaMask, which is a built-in, basically a built-in wallet.
That's something that we didn't build. That's just a sort of a pretty common wallet in the Ethereum community. So if you've messed with any dApps before, you typically will have MetaMask. So that's just a third-party wallet that you would have to get installed, and then put some DAI on there.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So the network congestion is a little bit of an issue at the moment. So basically on Ethereum, it's possible for your transactions to get stuck, which seems to be a little bit what's going on now. Let me just see if I can speed this thing up. Okay, cool. I can speed it up. It's going to make that happen faster. So what I did now basically is the way that the Fry is distributed is you get the proportion of however much DAI you put into the bucket, you get that much Fry out. I just put in 1 cent. I'm the only participant at the moment, so I'm going to get the full 50,000 Fry, Obviously, somebody else might come along before this bar runs out and the 7 hours are up, and then they can put in 2 cents and get 2/3 of the thing. And essentially, like that's how we determine the price of Fry tokens, is by what people are willing to pay for them. And yeah, if you don't like the price in a bucket, you can go to a next bucket, but it's not fully guaranteed.
Yeah.
Because it's possible, basically, that somebody can add bids to that bucket later on. All right, let me have a quick look here. I just want to see if this thing has mined. Okay, cool. So we have now mined our. Okay, cool. So here we got the little MetaMask confirmation that we've actually like mined it. So just check if this. What happens when I refresh this? All right. Okay. So so basically here you have entered 1 die into this bucket. If no one else bids in this bucket before it ends, you will be able to claim 50,000 Fry out of 50,000 Fry. I'm just going to all right. So I'm just going to enter another amount. So the second person is going to see this kind of thing, right? So here it tells us how. Yeah, so you can participate into the same bucket multiple times. So this part will not be there for the other person. Let me actually just switch accounts so that you can see it properly.
Yeah, that would be better, yeah.
See, watch properly. Okay, all right. So I don't have any die in this thing, but okay. So basically, if I okay, so if I haven't entered anything yet, then what this will basically tell me is, okay, so you haven't entered any bids into this bucket. So if I try to participate now with, let's say, 10 die cent, or let's make it 9 die cent, just so that I have 90% of the thing. So it'll just say, you submit a bid of 0.09 die. If no one else bids on this bucket before it ends, you will be able to claim 45,000 Fry or 50,000 Fry out of the 50,000 Fry available. All right. Okay. So again, this person would have to go through the jurisdiction. He'd have to unlock his die and so forth. Okay. So I do not yet have the.
So now he's back on his original account.
Yeah, so now I'm back on my original account now, basically. I'm just going to remove that information. All right, so this just tells me what the situation currently is. So if more people participate, then this thing will update telling me, okay, well, this is how much Fry I now have. So one of the ways that I can hedge myself against too many people entering one bucket is I can maybe take the money I wanted to spend and I can split it over 4 different buckets, for instance. However many buckets I really wanted.
Yeah, because there's an opportunity where you can potentially claim a lot of the Fry.
Yeah. I mean, you can, but I mean, more power to you if nobody else was interested.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Okay, let me just quickly see here. I should have claimable Fry on this account. Okay, it looks like I've already claimed my Fry, unfortunately, here. But so what you'll see in this thing, so on this account on my Chrome, I have already participated, and the interface here picks up that I've got 50,000 Fry in my wallet. What happens over here in this block is once the bucket expires and you've entered money into that bucket, then you can pull that money, you can pull those Fry tokens out into your MetaMask wallet.
There will be a button where it's right now says 0 Fry available for you to claim. There will just be a button. There'll be a number available for you to claim, and then there will also be a button that says claim all Fry, and that will move it from the sale into your wallet.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's essentially how our sale works. I think it's pretty straightforward. Is there anything that you find confusing or unclear about how this thing works?
To be honest, I really like the interface. I think it's very, very straightforward and simple. And I think that's going to be the main thing as well. Obviously with new users coming on, it's just like how, it looks very, very easy to use.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
Awesome. Yeah. Awesome. I think I need to get some Fry quickly.
Okay, cool. Well, it's only going live in 2 weeks. So,
yeah, I know. As soon as it's up, you must just notify me. Then I'll speak to a few people as well, because I know quite a few people within this space that would be interested.
Okay, cool. We will definitely do that. Okay, Logan, so over to you. Do you want to demo the next, do you want to demo smoke signal and Die
Well,
Hard?
first, maybe we should talk about the referral thing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So,
Okay.
so Logan, what is sort of the process in getting this developed? Like, I mean, it probably must be very intensive, eh?
So the logic that this sale is based on, so the fact that the way the sale is determined, how long the buckets take, and when you can enter in, and all that stuff is defined in a smart contract, which runs on Solidity. I don't know if you've heard of Solidity.
You're talking
Anyway,
to me?
yes.
Yes, Daniel.
Oh no, I haven't heard of Solidity yet.
Okay. Well, no worries. It's just so Ethereum smart contracts.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's the sort of technology used to build the smart contract. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah, and then beyond that, it's just quite a bit of work on the interface itself, and that's just regular front end stuff. But so then you have basically a web front end, but it's not. It doesn't direct you to. There's no server in the background. It's all communicating with the Ethereum blockchain, which is pretty neat.
Okay.
Yeah, and I guess that's a pretty good segue into Signal then. Okay, Skulk says I'll be right back, so I will demo Signal then. Let me share my screen.
And how long have you sort of been building the apps and smart contracts for?
Myself, it's been, I think, 3 or 4 years now. But maybe only for the last 2 years has it been like a hobby. I mean, more than a hobby, but an actual career.
Oh, I see. And so what code were you working on before you got into blockchain? Was it more like Meteor, or what do you work on?
Before that, I've been a programmer for a long time, but it was always a hobby. So I went to university for engineering for a while, and actually let me go to smokesignal.eth. Yeah, and then I was very seriously just studying blockchain for a long time before, and programming on it. But that was a long time before I actually started making money on it.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to go to smokesignal.eth. Now, .eth domains work if you have MetaMask installed.
Okay.
And these .eth domains are very cool because they're all controlled by smart contracts as well. And so unlike a .com domain, there's no jurisdiction in the world that could actually shut this down. Having said that, I usually pass around a different link, which I'll just type that in just so you can see it. But the link I usually give out, just because most browsers don't support the .eth, is I just do smoke signal /app. But these will go to the same place. The only difference is that.
Yeah, sorry.
The only difference is that the .eth will bring you to an IPFS page, and that's the bit that sort of is protected from being attacked. Whereas this is just our regular server, which in theory, if someone gets really upset about our product, they could come and introduce all sorts of legal pressures to get us to shut this down.
Oh, I see. Thank you.
Anyway, so did you have a question before I move on?
Oh yeah, no, I was just about to say, like, I think David Icke needs a .eth.
Yes. Yeah. More and more people do. I mean, I really think the whole world needs this kind of unstoppable technology.
100%.
Anyway, so here's Smoke Signal. There's some topics here. When you sign into a MetaMask account, you'll get a different face here. So I'll just show you what these look like. So if I change here, I'll get a different face there. And these faces are generated actually from your address. So this account here has 0x, 0d, d8, etc. It's quite a long thing. If I click here, it should. Oh man, that's messed up. It's supposed to show an address there, but there's something broken there. Anyway, so you have this identity here, and other than this linked to your address, there's no usernames and there's no sign up. This isn't connected to any kind of email address or login or even a password. And so now if we go to, there's a few things we can do. I mean, I'll just go and click on, let's see, this one's a good one. So this is a topic, and only one thing has been posted. It's been posted by one of my other accounts. I wonder if okay, here's the address works. So this is a face with this address on it. Anyway, let's see here. So you can write posts, this post, and I'll just, if I wanted to, I could click reply here, start typing, and this is all marked down, which is a particular way of formatting stuff. So you can put in a link, whatever. That's how you format Reddit and GitHub and a lot of other stuff. It's just markdown. And when you write something, you can burn a certain amount of dye. So I'm just going to say 0.01. And then you can click go. And this is how we make profit down here, this default checkbox right here. So 1% of the burn dye will, or an extra 1% will go to us if they keep this checked. And so far, everyone who's used it has kept it checked, which is pretty cool.
Awesome.
Then you can click go, and then once again, MetaMask pops up. So this MetaMask stuff is, you'll see this again and again on other dApps as well as our own products. And then if I click confirm, I'm not going to because I don't really want to post that. Then you would see it mine for a bit, and then you would eventually see it pop up under here. And if I just go back, I'll just find something with a few more replies. Okay, well, here we're talking about this new update of smoke signal, and you can see there's one reply, and that's just Skulk saying, looks good to me. But yeah, that's the basic thing. And then the only other thing I'll talk briefly before, wondering if you have any questions, is you can see here how much has been burned for each topic. And the idea here is that instead of using upvotes, we're going to be using the amount of money burned to sort of sort things and eventually to combat spam. Right now, there's not much use, so spam isn't a problem. But eventually, we think that burning of cryptocurrency actually will lead to some pretty promising ways of combating spam on one hand without actually having any moderation. So there's no moderators, no owners of any of this.
Yeah.
Sorry?
That's very clever.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited to see how it goes, especially when we get some real use. I'm excited to see how this this column changes here, because it should be that the most popular ones come to the top. Yeah, and then I guess the other thing I'll say is that if we just go to any topic, any link here, so this link up here now, well, actually, instead, let me go to I'll just go to the .eth site because I can make this case even.
How do you guys believe that you can sort of get that used more extensively and through mainstream people?
Yeah, well, so, I mean, on one hand, we have to take away some of the barriers. So for one thing, you know, when I post here, I'm burning dye, and it would be better if you're burning ether because ether is easier to get.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So that would be one thing. Sorry?
No, I said I agree with that.
Yeah. But beyond that, sort of, we can't really get away from the dependency on MetaMask and the dependency on cryptocurrency. So those are barriers that we kind of have to deal with. We need to ask the user to get MetaMask and to get Ether, at least. But beyond that, I think one thing we could do is we could start trying to get people to write articles on smoke signal and then share the article around. So, so as I was about to say here, if I just, now I'm on the site that the .eth link sent me to. And now if I click on one of these posts, let's say this one. Now this long link up here, if you take this and send it around, that is an article that anybody can see forever. In fact, even if we update the interface, this URL actually points to the same interface that, what am I trying to say? If you send this link around, this link will always use this particular version of the interface. So it's not even susceptible to us upgrading it in any kind of way. So this post, if you send it around with this link, will never be deleted, never be censored, and anybody can see it. And as well, you'll be able to see the comments and the discussion here, and you'll be able to see how much has been burned and all that kind of stuff. And so it's very much built to be a resilient way of communicating and coordinating.
Yeah.
And so back to your question you just asked just now, I think a key to the success will be to get people writing articles on there that they would be uncomfortable writing in other places or that they think would be deleted. So not only do you have this post that can't be deleted, but you can also post it under this pseudonym that, you know, if you're careful about your digital hygiene, then nobody even knows that it's you.
Yeah. Is smoke signal sort of the first of its kind in terms of getting rid of spam, sort of through doing it like this and through coins?
Yes, I think so. There's another project on the Bitcoin network that does something similar. The interface isn't very good. I mean ours needs a lot of work as well. But it seems like they just went as far as saying, oh, let's have communication on the blockchain. And they didn't really think up a good way to combat spam. So as far as I know, the burning of dye for various use cases is something I'm extremely interested in, and it doesn't seem like a lot of people are investigating it much at all. So yeah, and then on the smart contract level, it supports something that the interface doesn't do yet, but we want to get implemented pretty quick. Is that there should be some buttons here, somewhere around here, that you can burn in support of this message. So if you like this, you could add another die burned, and that would increase its visibility. Or you could even you could tip it, so you could actually send die directly to the author of this message. And then interfaces could use that information as well to help sort different messages in complex ways.
Yeah, I get you. So, for example, you sort of wanted to, so the ultimate goal for this, and just correct me if I'm wrong, be to sort of build like a platform like Medium, where not only you can sort of prevent spam, but potentially even reward creators through.
Yes.
Get you.
Yep. Yeah, because if you see some guy has burned $20 to get this message in front of you, and it's really, and you find it really valuable, you might be motivated just to tip him $1. And especially if you can see other people doing it, I think that'll add a lot. If you could see right next to this burned amount, you could see maybe a green amount that shows how much he's made. And so if this said $5 burned and $3 tipped, you might be pretty motivated. Just send him an extra $2 or even $3. Of course, we'll have to see how that works out. But, you know, on Reddit for a while, in the earlier days of crypto, there were these Bitcoin tip bots that were running around. And you could respond to someone's comment and call this bot and tip somebody directly on Reddit. And for a while, that was extremely popular. People really loved doing that. And it kind of has fallen out of favor now. But in a way, this is just a platform that natively does that sort of thing. It allows you to do that without requiring some external bot. Yeah.
Really cool.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking, like, sort of with technology like this, do you guys, in terms of, because I mean, I love the technology, but just the way I'm thinking is obviously towards the future and the integration of the technology. You know what I mean? Like, is there something where you guys would be looking to sell to different sort of bigger groups and bigger companies that they can then use within their current infrastructure?
Well, we can't really sell this. So this is the contract doesn't even have an ownership role. The only thing that we own is the account that the donation goes to. So we own that profit stream. And when Foundry gets up, we're actually going to redirect that profit stream to Foundry, and that'll just be one of its products. And I mean, really, I think for any of these applications built on smart contracts, the goal for me at this point is not so much to scale up to sell it to somebody, but rather for it to become a standard that, because rather than thinking about it of a company buying this and then sort of championing it and developing it for their own self-interest, rather I think that the best the highest aim would be for this thing to get so useful that actually other people start building on top of it. So people can still sort of claim ownership, and not in a controlling way, but it's sort of in a creative way. So you could, for example, someone could fork this right now today, and simply, because right now, for example, if I just go to the miscellaneous topic, this is just ordered by time. So but someone could fork this today and simply do nothing other than order it by the burned amount, right? And that would be something that we can't stop them from doing, and they wouldn't even need to talk to us to do it. Or they could just completely write a new interface, because at the end of the day, all of this data is stored on Ethereum on a smart contract that's pretty simple. Somebody else could make a totally different interface that sorts it all differently, and maybe encode some metadata into this. Right now I have replies and topics, but there's nothing stopping me or somebody else from adding on. Maybe you could tag other people right now. Like if I want to respond to this guy, but mention this guy, there's not really an easy way to mention him, as there is with Reddit or Twitter, where you can do a tag. Yeah. So there's so many directions in which this could improve. And for me, the hope is that it would get so big that people start doing that themselves. And you have these other tools that they're not even necessarily competitive. Like maybe there's a tool that's great for having a Reddit-like experience, and then there's another tool that's a lot better for a Twitter-like experience, but they all use the same data set.
Got you.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, so that's Smoke Signal. I can demo Die Hard now for you if you'd like.
Yeah, that'll be cool.
Danielle,
Okay.
is it clear how the profit flows from here to Foundry though?
In terms of the donate, eh?
Mm-hmm.
In terms of the
Yeah.
The donate.
Donate.
yeah.
Yeah.
So okay, cool.
Yeah. Okay.
Is there any sort of another way to? I know you guys have sort of been getting majority of people that have donated.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that's something that's going to continue into the future as like the user significantly increase? What do you think leading to people just to donate, or is it common within the early adopters and like the crypto? Because obviously I'm feeling new to the crypto space and the community and the technology. So I just want to understand like thinking behind it, like what gets people to do that, because
Yeah.
traditionally a lot of people wouldn't do that.
Well, so I think right now the reason people are all donating is that when you type in some message, whatever, and most people are only burning like $1 or $2 at most. I think there's one post that's burning $5, but most of it's 1 or 2. And at that point, I think it's literally not worth the effort and the ethical qualm to uncheck the donate, because it's like literally 1 cent at that point. And so,
Yeah.
I mean, I could go and uncheck it, but nobody's done it. In fact, the only person that did it was me, just to make sure that it actually works and that it stops the donation. So, and I, that changes a little bit when you're doing $100, but even when you're burning $100, I mean, at that point, you're really getting some kind of use out of this tool. And I think at that point as well, you would sit here and you'd think, do I really want to not donate to this tool where they must be getting $100 of use out of it, and this is going to get them some kind of exposure, and they must expect. And so they can uncheck it, and it's actually hard for me to imagine people unchecking that though, because this is this public good that we don't own. It's built such that we can't own it, and that nobody can capture it. And I think that we'll get a lot of goodwill from that.
Yeah, get you.
Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead.
And like I obviously shared like sort of the where I could see it going. Well, like where else do you think you can see it evolving to?
So there's a few use cases that I think this is really important for. For one thing, it's really good for censored information. So actually, even one of the inspirations for building this was there was an article about some of the Chinese doctors with coronavirus, and it was going around, and the Chinese government was censoring it heavily. And so eventually someone took that article and they put it online with the Ethereum network by including it in transaction data. And they said, okay, now it can never be deleted. But the problem with that is, first of all, it took an incredible amount of effort to put that online. You had to know how Ethereum works and deploy a smart contract and all sorts of shit. And then to see it, it was like a several step process. In fact, I wonder if I could just, let's see if I can. Okay, so if I view on Etherscan now, this is what you would have had.
Sorry for interrupting. So that means if that sort of story came on Smoke Signal, for example, that could have led to like sort of an overnight blow up in a way.
Yes, actually, yes.
Got you.
Yeah, because so what they did originally is they put it on Ethereum, and then if you knew, then people were essentially handing around this Etherscan link where you would have to do this step. You'd have to click to see more. You'd have to view input as UTF-8, and then the message would be hidden in there, just like here it is. Here's the message from the original Smoke Signal message right here. So Smoke Signal was really quite simple. It just exposes that whole utility to be easier to post and easier to read. Yeah.
Interesting. This is so cool. Now that I understand from that, because I mean, if this technology, I don't know what's happening in China in terms, because they're obviously quite blocked from others. Social media, but I mean, if this could become common there, I think it would be brilliant. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Especially as we pick up the interface a bit. But otherwise,
so there's actually there's a specific Minecraft map where there's a massive library built inside of Minecraft. Very beautiful building actually, and it's full of censored books. And people have literally started this whole thing where they host this Minecraft server for people. There's 5 countries on the list, but it's Russia, China, Iran, two other places. So basically, and as every person plays it, they download the map. So they get permanent access to all of these like banned books, all these bad banned books in places. So this could have something similar. It could have a similar sort of just plain viral effect, or it could really like push. How can I say? It could become like an uncensored way to at least speak your mind, because the problem now, yeah.
No, go ahead. So I have a point, but finish your point.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. So I mean, because now, I mean, if you want to say on Facebook, like what I think about these lockdowns, I mean, I'd have to be able to do so anonymously with guarantees that I'm going to face fairly little consequence. And I'm going to have to actually be able to say it to someone who hears. It doesn't help by thinking. If I say it to myself, it's not saying it. So what this thing does is it allows you to remain anonymous and for others to hear your thoughts. And I mean, as simple as that sounds, literally even in South Africa, that is now a problem. So I can definitely see it going viral well outside of China.
Well, but go ahead.
Is there a way to sort of also make people's claims more valid in terms of like a voting system or something of that nature? Because is there?
The tipping system?
Because I'm someone from China can just post a lot of, like, maybe someone even within the government can just post a lot of bullshit, like saying, no, this is you know what I mean? So I just wanted to find out, like, because of the anonymous aspect, is there a way to make certain points more credible? For example?
So I think that would just come down to the burning and tipping die once again. So so there's a lot of ways that the interface could be developed. So first of all, if I come on here and I burn a message for, let's say $10, then already, even without any more development on the interface, that's going to bump the topic that I posted that in right here to number 2. So that gets it, visibility.
Got you.
And then also, if the interface allows people to follow one another. So if you and me and Skalk are all posting on this, we could follow each other. And this is something we have yet to implement, but that could easily make it so that when you post something, I see it, even if it's a low burn amount. And so then if you have a network, or if you burn money, you're guaranteed to get visibility. And then anybody who sees it can then burn to support it, to also to increase its visibility. And the way the following could work, it could be such that, Skalk has his settings such that he sees every post that I actually burn in support for. And then he'll see something if I just upvote it, even if it's just for 1 cent.
Yeah.
And
as it advances, got you.
Say again, sort of what?
As it advances, you guys would then add certain things like filters like that, etc.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, I think especially when it comes to sort of spam and dealing with spam, that's something we're going to address really only when we get spam, because otherwise it's just too theoretical. But we have this really reliable mechanic of you can't fake the burning of money. And just think of this topics list here. It's that as soon as I put this together, I just realized that what this means is that you have a way of sorting topics that on one hand is completely determined by the users and nothing else. But on the other hand, you can't really game it. I mean, you could go here and burn $1 bajillion and get your thing up at the top, but you haven't cheated. You've just burned $1 billion. And that means, okay, I guess you really want a lot of visibility.
Yeah.
No, that's it. Go ahead.
In terms of getting this, like, because this is a platform that requires a lot of users, as any platform, to gain the momentum. Yeah. What are you guys thoughts on running like a few aggressive, like, sort of Facebook ads with this? I know you sort of have to go through the mainstream and the place you're like almost competing with to get voices out there. But what are your thoughts on that? Is that something guys would consider? Because I mean, the purpose of it is to get that mass exposure and mass usage. So running, because obviously I come from like a marketing background. So running that aggressively through like Facebook and different platforms, maybe even WeChat potentially. I think that could be powerful in getting the traction that's needed. And with COVID happening, that obviously WeChat will shut down very quickly. You know what I mean? But even getting a bit of momentum with people using it, like from China, for example, and with it specific, because I can really see like maybe COVID-19 in China could be one of the main things as an example. I mean, I think it could be really cool.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah. So marketing is one of the next steps we need to take. We are sort of focused on the sale first because we're running out of money, but marketing, and it's marketing Smoke Signal and marketing Die Hard. But you know, the nice thing about Smoke Signal is that we have this route of marketing that's really promising, where if we just get one article to go viral, then Smoke Signal has gone viral. And I suspect that if you look at Medium's growth strategy, I would be shocked if it didn't involve a lot of that kind of stuff, where you get people to write articles, they share the articles, and they're implicitly sharing Medium itself. And then eventually you have users that have seen a Medium post 3 or 4 times, and they start recognizing, hey, Medium is this phenomenon. And then you've onboarded a user without ever directly actually advertising it. So I think that's going to be a lot of our strategy.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely is a strategic way to do it,
But yeah, marketing is very much a next step we're quite eager to get to at this point.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we, just a thing on what you said earlier about, influencing Facebook and that kind of stuff. It's not necessarily obvious from what we do here, but if you think about the structure, the back end structure of almost all social media, if you think of YouTube, if you think of, Facebook, if you think of Twitter, really what it is it's an original topic, and it comments upon the topic and comments upon the comments. That's really the structure of all of it. Now, there's some multimedia, so there could be like a video or an image or something to that effect, or it could be like Twitter, where it's like a comment and it's all like a linear sort of a progression with shortened stuff, but it all follows the same basic like pattern. So I think we have a way to scale this thing so that we can really reach like Facebook level, YouTube level, engagement. And actually, the other very interesting thing about this is our product is zero infrastructure. Like this site that you're seeing now, if you look at the bar there at the top, it says this weird thing called gateway.ipfs.io, and that's actually it's located on this network called IPFS, the actual interface. And as long as anybody on the IPFS network has a copy of this thing, it's accessible. We don't need to host a server. And the more popular it becomes, the more accessible our website becomes. It has the inverse type of economics to what a traditional server's economics is. Like the more people who access it, the less available it becomes. Here, we can't even be DDoSed. Right. So in other words, the more people who want this information, the more people will have it. So the more people, a new participant can actually get it in. So I really think like we cost nothing to operate, nothing, and if we get the right combination of users and circumstances, we can rebuild every type of social network that we have so far. We can rebuild on top of this thing, just as different views on the same data structure, basically.
Yeah, and one of the really exciting things is how quickly that could happen. So I had the very basic version that just showed that all messages in order, didn't have any replies or topics. And it only took me like a day to get replies working. Am I remembering that right, Skalk? It was like a day or two.
Yeah, it was very quick, eh?
It was very quick.
Yeah, now I think, it was 2 days, man, max.
Yeah, and so you're literally just encoding and decoding that information into the same area where the message itself goes. And then I did a topic and a visual redesign and a preview and a whole bunch of stuff in about, I think, a week and a half. But all that stuff is so easy to put in, and just like, anyway, I'm rambling a bit, but I think one of the great things about this, and I was telling Daniel, I don't know if you were here yet, Skalk, about how, even if it's just me working on it, it could iterate quite quickly. But the really exciting thing is when it gets big enough to where people start building their own tools for it. And there's nothing stopping that. They don't need to ask our permission at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Hopefully we get enough infrastructure in so that when we actually have the scale up and running and a couple of interfaces up and running, that it's just more in someone else's interest to go, okay, well, Smoke Signal's network effect is already there, so I'll just build something on top of Smoke Signal. And then the guy's free to do it. I mean, if you want to take this interface, you want to filter it so that it's only, unicorn pictures, and you want to run ads on that interface, you're more than welcome to do it. We still make money. We still make money when people burn and donate, basically. And on top of that, I mean, if you want to run a porn site on it, you know, you just adjust the filter. So anyway,
that's exactly what I was thinking. I was like, this thing, it could go wild. People never get this stuff off.
Yeah, well, this is another thing. Like the other thing is the data is not going to go away. So people
going to do some mad revenge stuff on you.
Yeah, but I think the thing is people will run filters themselves. The way that I see the thing eventually work is that you have like a beacon server that people can connect to, and that gives them an interface and gives them access to the normal network. And what the beacon server provider does is he just filters out at which he would be criminally liable to reach out to you, you know, or to take from you. He'll just filter that out, and he'll give most people just like, oh, there it is, basically. But the person could still download that server software themselves and run it locally, and then they can see the full wild westness of the whole freaking thing. So
there's a lot of stuff that happens through the dark web. It incorporates a lot of blockchain technology.
Mainly just for payments, as far as I can tell. They don't really seem to use smart contracts very extensively, but I haven't checked in quite a long time.
Right.
Because,
let me just
sort of the way with humans work, the evolution of smoke signal, it could turn into something wild as well. Do you guys planning on controlling that, or just leaving it a natural flow in terms of the way people progress with it? Because at the end of the day, you develop like the core technology, you're still going to make money, no matter what.
Yeah.
You know?
Right. So we have the Mirror site where, remember I showed you those two URLs, and we would like to keep the .eth site itself pretty pure, uncontrolled. We might add filters to our own foundry.com site because that's our server, you know, and when it delivers content, maybe that makes us liable. I'm not sure. Yeah. But I guess, you know, we're building it to be uncontrolled as much as we can. And then if we face pressure to control it, the nice thing is, well, as I said, you know, that version of the link there will always use the same version of the app. So we can't even go and change that. And, you know, ultimately, I think the real goal is to get all this kind of stuff in the hands of Foundry, because then it's not even us. It's actually just this DAO out there that is sort of, you know, made up of a bunch of people. And that is making decisions to, you know, develop smoke signal further and, you know, provide unstoppable access to finance and all that stuff that we would not be so eager to do ourselves.
Yeah, got you.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah. Okay. So I've pinged I've pinged two people again who said that they'll join, but yeah. So okay, we'll just take this as a trial run for the time being. We'll see if Donna, who is very interested in Die Hard, wants to join. Do you have any questions about how our DAO works, Daniel?
No. I mean, I
okay.
think it's clear.
Okay.
And explain it to me slightly as well when you're on our call.
Okay.
You say Skulk did explain it to you.
Oh, okay. Let's just have a look here. Basically, I just want to.
But I love it, guys just come up with these projects like consistently.
Say again.
I love how you guys just like sort of bring new things to market so consistently.
Oh, thanks. Well, it's maybe a stretch right now to say we brought it to market. We're still trying to get it to market, but yeah.
We made it live.
Yeah,
that's what I think we can say is we made it live.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So who's sort of guiding in terms of like the is it just like sort of discussion that you guys have as a team to different DApps and DAOs that you guys want to build, and then from there you go with it? Is that the way it's currently going?
Yeah, it's pretty. Yeah, I think we just talk a lot, and so we end up just kind of forming these ideas together. Well, but it changes sometimes. Like in the case of Smoke Signal, it was very much sort of an impassioned push from me. I went it's with the COVID stuff, especially, and something about launching the sale without. It felt like the sale without, as it wasn't really responding to the COVID stuff, and everybody's talking about that. And so that's what pushed me onto Smoke Signal. Yeah, it's pretty equal parts. I mean, I'm doing most of the work most of the time, although Skulk gets into it more now in the past few months. At the same time, Skulk's essentially paying the bills. So, and then it sort of works out to be this even given. And then just to make it all work is that we share so many values and, you know, sort of frames of viewing the world that we just end up being on the same page a lot.
Yeah, because you guys have it like that. You're fully engrossed with technology, with like the aspect of decentralization at all costs, and it's something that's like, I mean, at all costs it needs to be decentralized.
That's right.
So I'm sure
Yes.
you guys aren't. I mean, I'm sure you love the technology, but in terms of Hyperledger, what are your thoughts on that?
I don't have any thoughts on Hyperledger. I haven't heard about it in a while. What do you think, Skulk?
I don't remember what Hyperledger was. If I remember correctly, it was some sort of it was IBM who did a proof of authority Ethereum chain, or what is it again?
Yeah, so it's basically a way where it's not going to make all the transactions public, but only to a select few.
So it's like a private.
Yeah, so the transparency isn't to everyone. But
it's a consortium chain, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I think so.
How do you mean by that?
Okay, so initially when Ethereum came out, a bunch of people cloned Ethereum and said, yeah, they're going to run private blockchains, right? So private blockchain is just basically where you have an Ethereum clone where only a few people can participate, right? Yeah. So typically you have consortiums, and there's a little bit of use in that, because if you have large entities that need to interact with one another, but they don't really trust one another fully, because there's always a cost of integrating, then you could write smart contract as a common language between them so that they run their systems on a common thing. But I mean, it's not really, it doesn't do exactly the same thing that Ethereum does, because Ethereum makes that possible in public, right? You can actually run stuff in public. Now, in terms of the privacy where everybody doesn't see it, that's not a feature anymore. Because there's this thing that I'm actually going to pay Logan today for the first time in zk.money. So basically like an anonymized, it's a long story, but it's an anonymity system. But what you can do there is you can do all the stuff that you can, all the benefits that you could have gotten from something like Hyperledger. If I remember Hyperledger correctly, and I never really went into it, but if I remember it correctly, then basically you can get all those benefits and all the guarantees of the public network. So now you can have the same. Mm-hmm.
And I'll just note the other benefit of a public network is, like, take DAI, for example. So DAI runs on Ethereum. Now, if you want to take DAI and run it on a private network, you'd have to actually implement that whole thing on the private network. And it's very similar to how when the internet started getting big, people started talking about having their own private internets, but it just doesn't really make sense, because so much of the benefit of the internet comes from the fact that it's public and a shared resource and everything. Yeah. And if you try to build something that's like a consortium chain where it's like Ethereum but private, you just give up so much in that transition.
So what it does basically, it works for permission use cases, and it also like formalizes the governance of the upgrades, if that makes sense. So I mean, for me, what that means is like I feel like there will be more effective collaboration, and I think there will be less duplication of certain effort, if that makes sense. So that's what I like specifically about the Hyperledger.
I do think you're correct in that regard, basically. But I think broader in terms of the fact that Ethereum, that is already a subset of what the public Ethereum network could facilitate. And there's a superset what the public Ethereum network could facilitate that is so broad and pulls in so many different factors that it's almost makes no sense not to leverage it.
Yeah, get you. I also get like fully from your side as well. But yeah, I'm keen to see this evolve. You just got to think, and that's the cool thing, man. Like since I've started to enter like the blockchain space, to a lot of people, it will seem very undigestible, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. And like sort of my marketing brain is just thinking in terms of like mainstream and getting things used by mainstream audiences. What is the process for that? Understanding that process. And I think there's going to be a lot of good synergy with us in seeing how we can do that with what we come up with. And have you guys thought about like bringing certain like blockchain technology into like supply chains or things of that nature?
Not really.
Because that's like that's sort of like I think that might be one of the biggest unicorns from what I've read in terms of like using blockchain technology on the supply chain, and there's a lot of like competition there, I'm sure.
I think for us, the focus is a lot more on building things that, I mean, first of all, yes, blockchain can make the given institutions that we have today more efficient in different ways, and I think that's a fine path to go searching down. But I think for us, the emphasis has really started to center around building things that, how can I say, it's providing freedoms to people that we should be guaranteeing. So Smoke Signal provides free speech and it can't be stopped. DieHard provides free trade and it can't be stopped.
Yeah.
And then Foundry should have that same personality, because that should be basically we should be able to attract those kinds of people to become fry holders, and they'll be the ones that vote. So that'll be the initial direction of it. Yeah.
Got you. Makes sense.
Yeah. Okay.
But you know what? Sorry,
just a quick question.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
I just want to know, did we cover the referral program? I stepped out for a little bit there. Did we ever run over that?
No, we didn't. We should go over that. Do you want to demo that, or should I?
Yeah. Yeah, I think you demo it, Logan. Run into that. I think, Danielle,
okay.
it'll be of use to you as well, because the thing is, we really try to reward people who fund us to a ludicrous degree. So yeah, Logan.
Okay, let's see. So sale. Okay, it should. Oh, I have to verify my jurisdiction. Hopefully, this is the one where it didn't break. It's thinking about verifying my jurisdiction. Failed. Scott, looks like you're gonna have to demo this.
Okay, what's wrong is your.
Well, let me actually try with my other. No, wait, no.
Okay.
Yes, but my other browser, it is not broken. Okay. So basically, anybody who goes here, once they connect their wallet, they'll see a few different things up here. One they might see is no referral bonus. They can click on this, and we actually want to redesign this a little bit. But the idea here is that anybody who has a referral link and is using a referral link, even if it's their own, will get a small bonus. So I can say, okay, I'm missing out on a 10% bonus. Yeah, I'll just generate my referral link, and there you go. Now I'm using the referral link. I'll get, so if I use my own referral link, I actually get bonuses twice. But now if I take this referral link here, I copy it and I send it to somebody and they use it, it'll show them something different. It'll show them referral bonus active. It won't tell them they can use their own, but it'll just say, nice, because you're using a referral, you get the 10% bonus. And now, so for the math on that, Scott, correct me if I'm wrong, but basically, if someone uses your referral link that you've given them, you get. So it takes however much DAI they put in, takes 10% of that and puts it into the next bucket for you. So every time someone uses your referral link, you get more fry. You're basically automatically getting buys for fry in the sale. You'd still have to come to the sale and click claim fry, but you'd basically be generating those fry that are claimable for free. And then furthermore, the more people that you refer, the higher that percentage goes. And it goes up to 100% after you've referred. I think it's 100,000 DAI worth. Is that right, Skalk?
Yeah, so it's actually effectively it's 90,000 DAI. So it starts at 10%, and for every dollar you add, it starts growing basically up to $90,000 that you've brought us. And at that stage, you're getting 100% of your referrals back. So
if you refer me and I put 90 DAI in, and you've already referred up to 90,000 before I do that, then you also get my 90 DAI in the next bucket.
That's correct. Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Well, that's the referral link then.
Perfect.
Yeah. But is that something that is alluring enough for you to go, okay, well, I can actually make a considerable amount of tokens out of this, and that it's something that, I mean, to you as somebody who just peripherally heard of the project, does that make you excited enough to actually go, listen, I want to give this thing to as many people as possible?
I think it's cool. I think it's something I definitely would refer. I think in terms of like consumers need to have I think they need to have a good understanding of what's happening. And I think if there's information on the website that would explain that on the interface, because what would happen is been a lot of sort of things within blockchain and coins and trading of coins that creates an initial perception of, okay, you know what I mean? Like the sort of get rich quick. But whereas with understanding it, it makes sense. But for a lot of people that just entered the coin, they'll be like, okay, why don't I just buy, for example, X coin or X coin? Do you understand? But I think it's very, very cool what you guys are doing.
But my question is, okay, so if you feel that we have fundamental value, right, in our project, so we're delivering value and that we have a way to monetize that value. And we tell you that, listen, this value will be captured in the Fry token. Is this referral program attractive enough, in your opinion, for at least some people to go, you know what, I'm going to throw a lot of effort behind getting my referral code to as many people as possible and explaining it to them?
Definitely, yeah. Especially within the community, 100%.
Okay, cool.
So based off that and what you mentioned, I think it's very clever.
Cool. All right. Okay, I can demo Die Hard now if we'd like.
Okay, cool. I think start. Nobody else is responding to the stuff at the moment. So
okay. Now I'm actually going to do this on Coven. That's what we should have done, Skulk. We shouldn't have used XDie earlier. We should have just used Coven.
But is Smoke Signal live on Coven?
You mean Die Hard? Yes.
Well, oh yeah. We should have done. Oh, damn it, yeah. That's an even better.
Well, Coven or Robson. I'm not sure which one. We'll see if this gives me an error.
Coven.
Okay, yeah.
You guys should run a webinar, man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I should have ran a webinar, and then we just send the link out. You probably see the webinar. You can record it long in advance, so people think it's live.
Okay, that's a good point. I do think we want to hold uncanned demos, though. So an uncanned demo is where we have to demo the thing and it has to work.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. But that's a good idea. Do you know, Daniel, do you happen to know any good services for that, for webinars?
I'll get a few for you because we're also going to be shooting a webinar soon. So as I'm doing that research, I'll.
Oh, okay. Oh, that'd be great. Thanks. Okay. All right. So this is Die Hard now. So this is where you go if you. I think my favorite use case is that you've flown to a new country and you have crypto and you want to get local currency.
Okay.
So let's say I've just flown to South Africa. I don't know anyone here, and I have, let's say, 100 DAI with me. So, and I want to get local currency. So I can type in 100 here. Of course, this says KDAI because I'm on Covan, but normally there'd be a nice DAI symbol there. Yeah. And let's say, so I just got into South Africa. I just go ZAR, and just to make this more realistic, what is 100 USD to ZAR? That is about 188. Okay, let me go back to Die Hard. Oh, okay, there we go. So 1880. And then now I'm also going to include, I'm going to include $10 extra here. So I can set the terms of what I want to trade. And the reason I'm going to include extra is I'm going to say I'm landing. In fact, let's say I'm doing this actually before I've even gotten on the plane to come to South Africa. Landing, at PTA airport. I know that's not the actual code, but whatever. At let's say 16 UTC. Whoops, I'll just say 16 local time. Tuesday, whatever. And you probably want to put a bit more information in there.
Why do you need to put that information in?
So this is basically this is going to be listed on the marketplace. So people will be viewing the marketplace and judging for themselves whether they can or can't take. So this isn't going to go to some system to execute the offer. This is really just going to go listed as a thing, and someone else will pick it up if they think they can do the Mm-hmm.
Oh, so this is very much peer-to-peer. Okay, got you.
Yes.
Cool.
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah. These three windows, I'll try not to spend too much time on these. Just stop me if there's any questions. But this first one is, how long do you want this offer to stay up if nobody takes it? The next one is, if someone takes the offer, how long is the maximum time it should take to actually execute?
Yeah.
And then the final one is, once it's done, how long do you need? Let's see, I'm selling my die. So how long do I need to decide whether they've actually done it or not? And so I'll just leave these all default for now. And you can read through these, but I've pretty much explained all this. Well, or I will explain it in the next step here.
And then where does this go?
So this is now going into a smart contract.
Okay.
And I have to wait for this. Oh yeah, it's on Covan. So of course this is all going to be very fast. Oh, transaction error. See, Skulk, I'm getting a transaction error now again. This is concerning.
Hold on.
Hopefully this works.
So what would make someone want to exchange, for example, the cash for the die, unless there's a promise of it increasing? Am I right?
Yeah, well, so yes. So that's why I included $10 extra here. So basically what I'm doing as the user is I'm paying $10 extra to get someone to meet me at the airport, which is an option that I don't have at all. Usually when I land somewhere with crypto, I have no way of getting into local currency. I'd have to go sign up for a bank and then sign up for the local exchange, all this kind of shit. If I could land.
Yeah. Sorry, man. So that's currently happening. Where, for example, you with Luno, for example. So you're trading with Luno, and you have Ethereum, or you have Ether, or you have Bitcoin or Bitcash, and let's say you want to sell your Bitcash, that then just gets done to $, versus the other options for currency.
You can do that, yeah, but you need to set up a bank account and set up a Luno account, and that, as a foreigner entering into South Africa, if I want rands to spend, that's going to take weeks.
Okay, got you. Because I see, for example, on Luna, they just do trades with, from what I've seen, I'm sure there are other currencies, but like I think just $. It probably is like the pound, etc.
There's a what? Sorry.
So on Luna, for example, when you sell your let's say Bitcash, you get $.
Yeah, but then it would be difficult getting those $. Actually into your hand or into a bank account that you can spend in South Africa.
Oh, so this would be a situation where it becomes cash, and then you do this. Okay.
Well, this is the system that will get you cash.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Now, unfortunately, I'm getting some failures. So
if you just open up Etherscan quickly. I also tried it now while you guys were talking. I'm getting things that actually kind of make sense. Hold on.
Insufficient balance.
Yeah, me as well.
I have 100 DAI in this wallet.
Yeah, we should actually like.
And okay, on Covan, I'm not going to have any DAI because it's okay, right?
Okay, we should actually. Sorry, we should actually add that to the. I'm going to make something so long, and then you can respond to it. Okay, do you have any DAI or not? I'm going to send you off my DAI. Can you drop?
I don't have any DAI on Covan.
I have a little bit, but make like a 1 cent trade, okay? Just send me your address quickly.
Okay.
Yeah. Can I ask a question as about agreements, or should I just wait?
Yeah, no, go ahead. Ask.
Okay, so this is sort of what I want to understand with this. How do you guys? What stops someone from sort of giving you the cash? Because I mean, it's going to be a cash in hand type transaction, correct? Okay, so what stops someone from giving you the cash, and then you decide, and then you just cancel your offer with your DAI, and you have nothing to cash.
Okay, you go, Logan.
So you can't actually get the DAI back. So this. Sorry?
Excuse my questions if they're stupid. I'm super sorry.
No, makes a lot of sense.
Please. No, it's a good question, and I was hoping I could just create the trade and actually answer that question while we're looking at the trade, because it's essential to how this thing works. But basically, if I just click proceed again, this talks a little bit about it. So first you make the offer, and then someone commits, and they have to put in their own. Okay, sorry. Let me just answer your question specifically. Your question was, okay, let's say this guy comes to the airport, gives me a die, and why can't I just cancel the trade? So I can cancel the trade, but I actually won't get the money back. The only way I can cancel the trade is by burning the money.
Okay.
So you have nothing to win.
So you have nothing to win. So basically what Die Hard does is it makes it to where every scam can be punishable.
Okay.
And
so what happens when two people, say for example, two people accept your offer and you take both offers and you get like 3,600, for example. And then how would a situation like that work?
Well, to do that, you'd actually have to have that much die in the accounts, because you wouldn't be able to make this, because when you make the contract, the die goes into the contract. So if you make a second one, you'd actually have to have that amount of die again to put in.
Okay, so when someone sort of buys in and proceeds with your offer, does that open up like a communication channel where you guys can talk about meetup spots, etc.?
It does. Yeah.
And then
so
what happens if someone gives fake money?
Well, I mean, that's just sort of a buyer beware thing. I guess you'd have to check the cash yourself.
Got you.
But you'd still have some time to actually burn. So in other words, let's say, for instance, you got money and somebody brought you cash, like just as an example. And it's fake cash. You could still, like, if you got it, like, and there's still 2 days open on the burn window and you're trying to spend it and it's not going anywhere, you could still burn that guy.
Now, yeah.
But then you buy guys who both lose money in a way.
Yes, that's right. This burning mechanic basically makes Die Hard. It makes it sort of a scary tool to use, because you have to face the risk of burning. You know, the thing is, if the other person is going to try to scam you, you'll have to burn. But because you always have that option, the scammer shouldn't even enter the system in the first place. And you will be able to use this system to incentivize someone to come meet you. As I said, you can include that $10 extra for them to meet you at the airport. And it sort of will almost magically find someone else to do that for you, assuming that there's users using the system and watching it in a way that no other system would work. Because they can see the profit opportunity. They know that as soon as they enter into it, they'll have a guarantee to attempt that profit opportunity. And they know also that the only way they won't get the money is if they piss you off so much that you have to burn it. So you actually have a lot of guarantees there. And so you could actually use this to sort of, you put your call out on the internet saying, I have crypto and I want cash. And the incentives are all there such that somebody should actually just sign up, meet you there, give you the cash, and it should work 99% of the time, 99.something% of the time. Of course, we don't know that, there will be some amount of these trades that do get burned. We don't know what that percentage is. But even with that, there should be a way to use this tool, and you just sort of figure that risk in as you use it. And then as this tool gets more use, there's nothing stopping somebody from basically building services on top of this, that the service handles the risk and reward of maybe burning the payment, but then they use this reliable game theoretical system underneath to provide a service to the end user.
Got you.
So you could have, for example, someone hanging out at the airport, just doing trades with people with crypto and cash, knowing that they can come back to Die Hard and rebalance their liquidity. And as long as they sort of get their profit margins correct, then they'll make money.
Got you.
Yeah.
Cool.
So basically these different payment windows, they just talk about basically what I just described. So the open window, you can see the countdown here, and it just describes there that it will remain open for 3 days. If no one signs up within 3 days, you get it back. Also, you can remove and refund the trade immediately as long as nobody's come. As soon as somebody does come and put in their deposit, which is a third of the payment amount, then it'll go to this mode, and you can no longer get it back. Now you're both kind of locked in. And then when they've paid you, they would come click, okay, confirm payment. and that would kick it over to the final burn window, or you could also call it a judgment window.
Yeah.
Let me quickly join that.
Time to. Let me just wait one more point,
Okay.
and that's that during this judgment window, if you don't do anything it'll just automatically release at the end. So the person who's giving you the money, again, as long as they don't piss you off, it should come to them within 3 days or whatever it is, this window that.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. So what happens if like someone, like say for example, I brought like 5,000 rand to someone that just landed here, and this guy's just like being moody. I'm like, dude, just shut the F up, please. And then because of me saying that, he decides, look, I'm gonna burn this guy.
Yeah. I think.
What surety would there be? In a way,
I think a lot of these trades, what will end up happening is you'll meet the guy, do the trade, and then the person will say, "Hey, could you release it now? Since you have the money?" Yeah, it's like, could you please?
Yeah.
And then unless you're such a huge dick that you'll just look them in the eye and be like, "No, fuck you," and then walk away. And I think that's, again, it's not impossible, but it should be such a low occurrence that it's still a useful tool. It's similar to darknet markets. When you go and use a darknet market and you try to buy some drug on the darknet market, there is still a chance that the vendor that you're using will just decide to go offline at that moment, even though it has all the good reviews and everything.
Yeah.
But it's still a useful tool, and that's the key. Even with that risk, it's a useful tool.
That's a very good point, because even in traditional stuff, like say for example, I buy something off a website, there's a chance that someone just ran over my money. Same thing, even if you go to a restaurant, I could eat something and just run away. No one will know.
Right. Right. And it happens, right? It's just the risk is low enough. Yeah.
But remember, you can't go to restaurants anymore, eh? So it's no risk anymore.
Yeah, that's right.
But I get you. I think it's I love what you guys are doing. I think it's very, very clever.
Listen, I've committed to the trade, by the way.
Okay, so now Skulk is committed. So now you were asking about chat. So now we have this chat thing, and forgive the very poor design. We just never got around to the visual design of this. But basically, I can say, okay, what is the premise here? Let me just see. It was, I'm landing at PTA Airport. So I could say, I'm waiting by gate B. I go to submit, and MetaMask, it's failing to pop up. Well, that is interesting. What is going on there? Let me try again. Okay, now MetaMask popped up. Okay, now I'm getting 2 transactions. Okay, let me just reject them both and redo that. It just looks like MetaMask is being very slow.
Yes.
Give me
something.
I'll come back now.
Okay, cool. No worries. Cool. See you now, Daniel.
Yeah. MetaMask is a piece of shit, Skulk. Did you know that?
Dude, like...
Oh, no, I don't have enough gas.
I think you're just using it wrong. I think you're just using it wrong, man. Put a 0. No, dude, you got to make it way higher than that. That gas limit is just going to fail again. With like 2 zeros at the back there.
Oh, okay.
I think you're just using MetaMask wrong, dude. I don't know. I've never had any problems with MetaMask whatsoever. Hey, cool. The notification popped up. Logan? Dude, the notification popped up. I'm super happy about that.
Nice. Yes, there it is. Cool.
I'm going to respond, but what I'm going to do is I'm just going to wait for Daniel to get back, and then...
Okay, sure. Then he'll be able to see it on my screen, yeah.
Then he'll be able to see it like pop up on my screen. Dude, I must say though, our stuff's pretty, I think it's pretty slick, eh? I think it's not too bad.
No, it's not. It's not too bad. Anyway, I just wanted to make this point about MetaMask, MetaMask being a piece of shit is the kind of shit that will be straightened right out when we being the industry, we get real users, you know.
Yeah.
It's gonna shake everything and break a bunch of shit, and then we will slowly see a core of, you know, we'll have a stack that slowly a shitty component gets replaced with a less shitty component, and then it just happens faster and faster, and then we have an end user app and they don't have any problems with it, or at least not many. And that will be a glorious time.
Dude, if all we did at Octobase was not build a mobile wallet, we just build the social recovery with MetaMask.
Oh my God! What? That's such a shame. It's a damn shame.
But you know what I'm thinking of? Like, I keep thinking this is like literally one of the things we could. Hold on a second. Just let me quickly pause this recording.
What?
Okay. So basically, yeah. So where was I? Okay. So Die Hard. All right. So on his screen now, where the hell's my Die Hard? Okay. So on his screen now, you should actually see. Are you sharing your screen still, Logan?
Yeah. Oh, I'm not. I will do that. I thought I was, but I was not.
Okay.
Share. Okay.
So I'm now going to send him a message that says I'm just parking quickly.
And these are encrypted, and they're sent through Ethereum, very similar to how a smoke signal is sent, actually. But a smoke signal message is not encrypted, but these are. So nobody can read this except for the people who have the MetaMask accounts. So there you go.
So this could be used by a lot of people that want to also like burn some money, if that makes sense, in terms of, I mean, obviously there will be traditional usage, but there'll also be like points where people will just like, okay, shit, like, I mean, I have an extra, say 50 million. I need to somehow get rid of this for tax purposes, inverted commas. You know what I mean?
Well, we can't confirm that publicly.
But you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Well done, y'all. You know, we believe the government has nothing but our best interests at heart. You know,
Right.
I fully support the ban of dog walking, smoking, and alcohol. I don't think dogs should be drunk on the streets rolling their zola. That's very dangerous to me.
Just
yeah.
Super random question, just in terms of the way, like, I don't know if you guys have any insight into taxation. So say, for example, our business makes, let's say, 5 million rand profit in the year, eh? That's obviously going to be deducted in the fiscal.
Okay, cool. So we've started recording again.
Yeah.
Okay, so basically, so we just said there, I'm just parking real quick, and then, all right, so I'm going to...
Do you want to show your screen for this part?
Okay, cool. All right, so I'll show you what's on my screen at the moment then. So we are going to... yeah. So basically over here, I have the whole, you know, this is what I'm seeing. So here I can see basically that I can try to abort the trade. And you'll see that if I abort the trade, that means that we're both going to be punished to some degree. But now I want to say, okay, no. I've now paid Logan, right? So we found each other at Terminal B. I've given him the money and everything. Now I click confirm payment. I understand, confirm the payment. So now it's for some reason not popping up. All right, so let me just confirm this payment. All right, so that actually happened extremely quickly. So now it's the judgment part. So now Logan has to basically say, listen, you know, he's happy or he's unhappy.
Go to my screen.
Say again.
Let me share now.
Okay.
So, I mean, theoretically, you'd actually save a lot of money from trading like this.
Well, you might. I mean, the big thing is just you definitely save a lot of like KYC stuff. I mean, you can... You can definitely like avoid the KYC stuff.
And you might be able to save a lot of hassle because you basically incentivize someone to join your payment, and there's a lot less coordination effort. You put your offer out there, and somebody can immediately become part of that offer because they have to put in their own deposit, and the game theory should basically take care of the rest.
Yeah.
All right. So now here. Go ahead.
Now one of the only few exchanges doing this, or the few that popped up.
There's also Bisq. Bisq is another exchange. They don't do this similar thing with game theory, but they also claim to be able to do peer-to-peer trades that should work anywhere and basically without permission.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Well, their interface is quite difficult to use. Lots of
Gotcha.
bugs, at least last I checked. It's an interesting system, but and the other thing too is their payment methods are quite static. So, in this case, I was able to write whatever I want and count on the game theory to make sure that people who only could do that would sign up. With Bisq, they go a different route, and they basically have predefined payment methods that you have to choose from. And if yours doesn't really fit within that category, you're kind of out of luck.
Okay, and then how do you guys monetize what's happening off the Dire exchange? Do you get a percentage per transaction, or how does it work?
You get 1% per every transaction that releases results in a release. So as long as we get to this point and I click release, then we get 1%. If I click burn at all at this point, then it's all burned. We also don't get the profit. Okay. And same as if Skulk were to abort in the second phase, then we also don't get a profit.
Isn't there a way where it can be burnt and it just comes directly to you guys?
Yes, but we actually chose to have it work this way because if we're having a significant amount of trades being burned, no one's going to use the tool anyway. I mean, the whole premise of this is that the amount of trades that are actually burned is extremely low. And so we just figured, we might as well be able to say, look, even we don't profit if you have to burn, it's a little bit cleaner that way.
So it doesn't also look like some crazy transaction that you guys are trying to sort out and then, get you. I mean, I like it. So, I'm just thinking, can you trade multiple cryptos or is just DAI?
Just DAI right now.
Okay.
Yep. You have to redeploy a new set of smart contracts to work with something else.
Are you gonna add Ether and Bitcoin and
well, so the thing about DAI is it's stable, and that makes the game theory work a lot better because if we're in the middle of this payment window and it takes a week and we're trading Ether and the price of Ether went up, suddenly the game theory isn't so clear, and you might have cases where it's actually, even though maybe I was willing to bring you $1,000, now I'm actually not willing to do that anymore. I'd rather just say, no, I'm just going to keep my $1,000. And then that puts you in a position of having to burn the money just because the price changed. I, as the buyer of the crypto, didn't really, of course, I do have to give up my 1/3 deposit, but there could be cases in which that is still worth it for me.
Okay. So this will be a situation where people trade the Ether for DAI and then do the cash exchange.
Yeah, and really, in general, the difficult challenge to be solved is to get into crypto in the first place. Once you've solved that, going crypto to crypto is extremely easy. And we think our value proposition here is just bridging the gap between crypto and fiat in a way that won't dissolve after a few years.
Definitely, I think it's absolutely brilliant.
Cool.
Seriously, like I'm blown away by what you guys have shown me.
Cool. That's great to hear.
Yeah, insane.
All right, well, just to finish this demo, I will just release everything now.
Okay. I did send you a message begging that you please don't burn my money, but thank you for releasing it.
Okay. Also, a fun fact, this chat will remain open even after the trade is over. And you can also see in this chat the actual events that happened here.
Yeah. So are you guys like sort of, is this the user interface you want to go? Is it going to be tweaked slightly?
Well, it's the best we could do without user feedback. I think that's the best way to put it. And now,
got you.
To do any more iteration, it would be foolish because we could be fixing all sorts of shit, and there's one major bug that we should have been fixing the whole time, and we didn't even know it until we get the first user. So that's once again, it gets us back to the whole position of marketing is one of the very next things we need to do. Get real.
And when do you guys go live with this?
Well, this is live now, and we've launched it before, and we even did a couple trades with real users, but it just didn't have sustained usage. And with an exchange specifically, part of the challenge is you not only need to get engagement with people going to the site, but you need to get volume where people actually put money on the site. And so it really takes quite a coordinated, like a lot of energy thrown into the system and maintained, and then it slowly spins up, and eventually you can kind of take your hands off in it, and it runs by itself. And we just haven't really had the resources to go after that yet. So, and once again, that gets to the sale.
And is this going to be in the app as well?
You could make it an app. For me, there are so many other obstacles that I think making it an app because when you make something an app, I mean, the main reason for that is you make it easier for casual users. And I kind of suspect that our first users are not going to be casual. We're going to have to go after the hardcore guys.
Yeah,
And
100%.
I think, yeah, so that's my thought on there. But I mean, again, it's really just what the users want. You know, if we get, if 90% of the users bounce and it seems that they're bouncing because it's not on mobile, or, well, this does work on mobile. Yeah. So anyway, we just got to get user feedback before really making any changes to any of this.
Got you. Scalp, do you want to meet up for like a quick $200 exchange?
Sure.
But I mean, absolutely. Like, I mean, I'm seriously like, I mean, you guys can't. I don't know if you can see my face. You can actually. But
Oh yeah, let me.
I mean, I'm really, really blown away. Genuinely, I think you guys are onto something incredible for both of them. I mean, especially like for me, I mean, I think Smoke Signal stands out. I think Diode stands out. I mean, I also like what you guys are doing with the crypto. But yeah, it's insane, genuinely.
Cool.
And
Thanks.
I don't necessarily what the purpose was. And maybe you guys just wanted to show me the cool technology, but I'm absolutely blown away. Like, seriously. I think yeah. Okay.
No, you go ahead.
I think the key thing is like getting, because once the users go on, and especially, I mean, the fact that you're also early to market has its pros and cons. But I mean, sort of being have that first mover advantage, like a very early mover advantage, I think is very powerful. But yeah, brilliant.
Cool. Yeah, well, and just the purpose of this demo day was really just to get something public open to other people. So I'm glad you showed up, you know, because then it's not just, before you showed up, we were pretending there was an audience just to get in the motion of things. We were saying, for the purposes of the audience, we would explain things we already know. So it's good we actually got someone to show up. But yeah, just to go over it, you know, demo it live, and especially with your questions, those are especially valuable for us. So please don't feel bashful at all about having asked those questions. They're extremely helpful.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. I'll see if I have more. I'll just pop Scalp like a 10 page list of questions. If I have any.
Okay, cool.
No worries.
And maybe Scalp asked you this already, but do you have any issue with this being online somewhere? This recording?
Of course not. No.
Okay.
As long as it's not like on a child sort of website, you know, on the dark web, I'm fine. But like, I mean,
right.
anywhere else, it's cool. Don't stress.
Okay, cool.
Awesome, man. Okay. Awesome. Thanks so much, guys.
Thank you.
Hope you have a lovely day. Cheers, man.
Thanks, Daniel. Have a nice day, man. Thanks.
Bye.
Okay. Yeah. Well, Logan, I think for the purposes of just completing my agenda here, the only remaining thing.
Do you want to stop the recording?
No. I just have one more thing. I think they will want to record. So.
Okay.
So, yeah, so our audit came back from Adam Dossa. He passed our audit. If anybody wants to go look, it's currently on our Foundry. This is specifically for the Foundry DAO's ICO. So if anybody wants to go look at our GitHub.
Token sale. We're not using ICO because it's a dirty, dirty word, but token sale is totally cool.
Sorry, yeah. It's a token. It's a token generating event. It happens spontaneously. It happens like completely out of the ether, literally.
Yeah,
it just happens.
Literally out of the ether, yeah.
Yeah, it's like you click those buttons. We didn't click those buttons. You put the money in there and pulled out the. We didn't even mint the tokens. You minted the token.
That's right. That's technically true. Yeah.
So but anyway,
go ahead.
Okay, so our spontaneous token occurrence. Or STO, or spontaneous token occurrence. A good one.
I like that quite a bit. Spontaneous token occurrence. Okay,
our spontaneous token occurrence has been audited by, by the very thorough Mr. Adam Dossa. Anyway, it's up on our audit branch at the moment. He sent us some feedback. We implemented most of his feedback. He sent us a review of our changes as well, and we still have we have a cleaner bill of health now than we had before. So our audit is up. In terms of technically getting the stuff out there, I've pulled that stuff back into the dev branch, but I'm now having other truffle issues, which is a little weird since we probably have to now figure out what that is, since I can't now upgrade contract to work with the truffle that I now have. Anyway, but I don't think that's insurmountable. Yeah, so that was just the last thing for the public demo, is that our audits are done and clean and everything.
Okay, and then I'll just add, for the benefit of the public content here, our sale goes live at 2 weeks from today. The timer is already, well, I guess it's not up on the live foundrydao.com, but yeah, 2 weeks from today at noon UTC. So that is May 15th at noon UTC, I believe. Let me just double check my calendar. Yeah.
Can you show us the counter, by the way?
Yeah, I could do that, I guess, in the spirit of the demo. Let me, yes, here we are now. I'll just start sharing. So now, don't mind the broken header here, but yeah, that's the timer right there. So 13 days
nice.
and 21 hours, et cetera, et cetera. And I should have this site up, I think, maybe even today, but early next week for sure. And so you'll be able to kind of get notified, and you'll get an email there when it actually launches, if you don't want to remember a specific time. Okay. But and then another thing I'll just say is that, in case it's unclear, both DieHard and Smoke Signal are completely ready for public use. Please go to your diehard.exchange or smokesignal.eth if you have MetaMask. That will bring you there, or foundrydao.com/smokesignal/app will also bring you there if you don't have MetaMask. That's our mirror. Best to think of that as a mirror, and the .eth domain is the real domain. Anyway, cool. I'm done with my public comments.
Okay, cool, man. Excellent. I think that was that was as choppy as I thought it would be for our first public demo day.
But yeah, it could have been worse, that's for sure.
It could have been a lot worse. Okay, cool. All right, cheers everyone. I'm just gonna pause the thing now, and then me and you, Logan, we just need to